So next up, my friends, we are switching gears geographically. We're moving back to where I sit right now, to the state of Michigan, and we're going to hear from the man himself, leading the charge in this market, Fabian Monaco, the CEO and director of Gage Cannabis. Welcome back, my friend.
How you doing? How you doing? Thanks a lot for having me back on, obviously.
Yeah, of course, of course. Now we want to hear the story. We heard you on a little bit earlier with Chloe Aiello, and now we're going to get into the meat of the company and what you guys have accomplished in a very short period of time. So thank you very much. I will get out of the way, and I'm sure there'll be some questions, man.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Patrick. So my name's Fabian. I'm the CEO and director of Gage Cannabis. We are a company solely focused on the Michigan market. We've been focused on the Michigan market since inception. Michigan is really a unique market, actually. You have a scenario where you had a strong medical patient that started right in 2008, so over a decade of medical patients, kind of homegrown in Michigan. They were the second largest medical patient base, only behind the state of California for many, many years. And when Michigan went to the adult use market on December 1st, 2019, this strong medical patient base really allowed Michigan to rise to the forefront and being, frankly, one of the larger states in terms of consumption and, more importantly, sales. Michigan was outside of the top 10 in 2019, catapulted itself to a top 6 market in 2020, and then now is the third largest market via run rate based on March sales, only behind California and Colorado. We're one of the larger vertically integrated cannabis in. We're one of the biggest brands in Michigan as well. And if you also look at the dynamics in Michigan, and just in terms of population, over 70% of the population can consume. It's a really interesting dynamic. So 70% is essentially 21 years of age or older, and really creates for an interesting dynamic, again, coupled with this strong medical patient base that frankly continues to remain strong even in the face of the fact that we have adult use consumption in Michigan since December 1st, 2019. The next slide here just kind of shows you a little bit of the growth in Michigan. It's been pegged as a $3 billion market. Frankly, that's what Michigan State had given it. I think it's going to be even bigger than. I think it can push $4-5 billion here in the next couple years. You see the exponential growth, right? If you look at January, just where we were in 2019, 11 million, then 35 million in 2020, and then 108 this year for the month of January. And just look at the progression. You can really get a feel and taste for how big of a jump Michigan has experienced. If you take a look at our team, we have over 15 years of North American cannabis experience from an operational standpoint. We have vast amount of experience on the capital market side of things as well. Myself, our chairman, Bruce, are one of our main investors, largest shareholders, Jason Wild. We've been involved in the cannabis industry from a capital market standpoint for many, many years. We know what it takes to run a publicly traded company. We are publicly traded. We trade under the symbol GAGE on the Canadian Securities Exchange. And so we just have that deep experience, and coupled with the deep operational experience, really it's a great marriage as a company. We're really at the forefront and really trying to be the best, at both worlds. If you take a look at our portfolio as well and the assets within our portfolio, again, one of the larger vertically integrated cannabis companies. We have 3 of our own cultivation licenses, 3 processing licenses, and 13 different locations. We have 8 of those locations on the dispensary side of things open, soon to be 9, and frankly trying to open the 10th by the end of this month as well. If you look at our cultivation, we have 3 operational and actually 5 contract growers. We've entered into contract manufacturing agreements with 10 different contract growers. These are licensed entities that came to Gage, want to be part of the Gage family, and frankly totally stop growing their own product and grow exclusively for us. So now we went from basically 2 small little facilities in Michigan in 2020 and have now jumped to 8 different facilities across the state, soon to be 9, and 13 by the end of this year. We will be the largest cultivator in the state of Michigan and one of the largest cultivators in the country, frankly. Again, I'm going to quickly jump on this slide just due to timing, but again, just gives you the dynamic of where Michigan is relative to some of the other states out there. Really at the forefront of being one of the top states in terms of consumption and now in sales. I think Michigan easily competes for that number 2 spot, run rate spot, right behind California. Obviously, I don't think Michigan will catch up to California anytime soon, but really will be a strong second or third this year, really, anticipating it being a top three market this year. If you take a look at, how much we've grown and some of the highlights and what makes us special. So, I talked about our monthly cultivation capacity earlier and how it's ramped up with our cultivation that has come online. Again, we went from two facilities in Q3, Q4, jumped now to 8 different facilities growing Gage product. You see that ramp up in terms of production on a monthly basis. And if you take a look at where we'll be in June and have that product hopefully on our shelves in July, it's a massive, massive tenfold jump in just a short period of time. You take a look at our retail metrics. We actually have one of the larger basket sizes in the industry at 164 in 2020, and that's not cherry picked, for certain months or certain, locations. This was across our full retail channels. We had 5 stores open in 2020. Obviously, we have, 8 now, soon to be 9 and 10. We're consistently experiencing 150 plus in our basket sizes. I challenge anyone listening to try to find another company that has a basket size that big across such a vast retail network as well. If you take a look at how often people come to our stores, it's once, pretty much every 12 days. That's over 2 times a month. When you couple that with the basket size, it just shows you how much demand we have for our product and how much people are spending on our product when they come into our store. I quickly touched upon our 10 contract grow agreements, which I'll get to later on in the presentation. And then lastly, we're going to have our processing asset hopefully coming online here soon. This is going to be transformational for us. The brand has focused majority of its efforts on flower and the majority of its time on flower. And now as we move into the extract side of things, you're going to see some big margin expansion from the company as we go and tap into that extract based side of things of the market. Again, I'm going to quickly jump through this slide. Just shows you how fast we've grown, how quickly, we've grown as well in terms of just really being prudent with investor capital, really putting that capital to work. The company ourselves, we're publicly traded. We do not have, material debt. We're not like some of these other companies that went and took on these tough debt pieces or sale leaseback transactions. We stayed strong. We're very, very prudent with the capital we had. Have frankly minimal debt, in total around $6.5 million for a company of our size, which is really negligible, and close to 40 million in cash. So just in a spot, and the exceptional growth that you see here in really just a little over a year, you're going to continue to see from the company. We continue to want to smash these high percentage growth numbers. And I think, from a cultivation standpoint, from a store opening standpoint, from a cultivation facility standpoint, you're going to see some exponential growth from us in the near term. If you take a look at, what makes us special, it's our brand portfolio. As you can see on the right, it gives you some of the examples of how we sell our product. We sell our product in bags of 8s predominantly. This is flower product. We really think that's the best segment to go after in the flower market. We've partnered with best-in-class brands. We've partnered with Cookies on an exclusive basis. We were their first partner outside of California. We were their first partner to open up a store outside of California for Cookies. We took a chance on that brand a little over 2 years ago. They took a chance on us, and obviously the marriage has flourished, very, very well. I cannot say enough, things about how great that brand is. It's the Nike of the space. It's the Red Bull of the space. We use our relationship with them to, help us elevate, help learn again from the best as a brand. Even our partner with Slang and Blue River. These are phenomenal, brands on the extract side of things. Blue River partner with True Leaf in Florida, and also Cookies in California. Going to be bringing, some of the most top-notch solventless products to the market in Michigan very, very soon once our processing asset comes online. Same with our partners at Slang, one of the most successful, legal brands in the space right now in open vape. Historically, I think it's the number 2 in terms of most, products sold in terms of dollar figure historically in the legal market. So really excited to have their products on our shelf soon. Really an inclusive brand, partnering ourselves with best-in-class brands to help elevate our brand in our home market of Michigan. I touched, quickly upon, what makes us special. We really focus on flower. Michigan is a massive, massive flower market. They are a market that, really is kind of flower first, flower centric. For us, we hang dry, hand trim, hand package all of our product. We really put that extra effort into the post-production process, making sure we're bringing top-notch quality product to our consumers. We really spend a lot of time and effort, and also variety. If you take a look at our company in comparison to, frankly, any other company out there, even MSOs, Take a look at how many strains we have in our dispensaries. You go on our menu, go to gagecannabis.com, go through our menu at Ferndale or Cookies in Detroit to see, how many flavors of Gage and Cookies branded products you see on the flower side in comparison to some of these other companies in other states. We had 15 different flavors in Q1. We've expanded our portfolio to now 30 different flavors of flower, really at the forefront of just variety and constantly innovating, constantly pheno hunting to try to bring the best quality product to our consumers. Again, learn that kind of strategy from Cookies, being one of the best in the market right now in terms of flower. In terms of our cultivation, again, very capital light model. We focused on, opening up 2 small facilities. That was in our Harrison Township location in Warren, then moved to double that production with our Monitor Township location. We've now actually commenced on our phase 2. That building is closed. Very soon it will be closed. By the end of this month, I anticipate it being closed. We're going to be working on the interior for the next 4 or 5 months and plan on having that operational by the end of this year. In the meantime, we've partnered with licensed growers in Michigan. Again, these are licensed entities that have now stopped growing their own product and grow exclusively for Gage and Cookies in Michigan. If you take a look at that strategy, I would, again, challenge people that are listening today, try to find another brand out there where a licensed entity has actually foregone their own product to grow for that brand. You don't see it very often, and I think it's a testament to the brand that we've built already. More importantly, it allows us to scale our variety. It allows us to scale our production in a capital light way. I don't pay for the CapEx of these facilities. I don't pay for the OpEx. I split with the contract grower on a 50-50 basis the retail price that I sell for at my retail locations, meaning I kind of ensure that I keep on maintaining that same price percentage in terms of pricing. So even if there's price compression, I'm still protected in terms of my margins. And then more importantly, I'm withholding a certain amount per pound to cover packaging, testing, and secure transporting in Michigan. In essence, for $0, I'm bringing on production, my own flavors, my own strains to my retail channels, and achieving 50+% gross margins. So as a whole, it's been a really, really phenomenal strategy for us, a very unique strategy, I would say, in the market. We now have 5 operational facilities, moving to 10 by the end of the year for our contract growers. Coupled with our 3 that we operate, we'll have 13 different facilities producing over 7,000 pounds of product on a monthly basis to start the 2022 year. We'll be actually probably the largest cultivator in Michigan. And also, more importantly, if there's interstate commerce that gets introduced, one of the larger cultivators in the country. Our customer experience, I'll quickly touch upon that. Again, we put a lot of time and effort into our brand. We sell almost exclusively only through our retail channels. We don't, sell wholesale product. We don't put our brand in someone else's hands to sell for us. We sell all of our own product. We educate the consumer. We control that narrative. You see that in our basket sizes. You see the appreciation of our consumer in our average basket size. We're nearly double the state average. Michigan actually has a pretty strong, basket size. But again, when you take a look at what we've been able to produce relative to the Michigan basket size, and even relative to some of the other states out there, you really get to see, kind of what makes the Gage brand so special. I'll just quickly skip this slide, just a couple of the awards we've won for our social media, for our retail storefront, for our interiors as well. Again, really at the forefront of some of the best retail locations in the country right now. As I mentioned, we have 8 different retail locations open, soon to be 9. And in fact, we want to open up our 10th by the end of this month. Was one of the larger retail footprints in the state of Michigan. We're in the top 3 in that category. If you take a look at also, where we've situated our locations, we have, almost put it down to a science as to where we actually want it to be. We'll reach 90% of the population within a 1 hour's drive once we have all 13 locations up and running. More importantly, when you take a look at some of the acquisitions we'll hopefully be doing in the next little while, we'll be able to hopefully reach the population, almost 100% of the population, within a short, 20 to 25 minute drive. So really focusing on that, building a smart retail network, not only to go after where some of the larger populations, reside in Michigan, but more importantly, Once we have our delivery model, and keep in mind dynamic delivery in Michigan, it really allows us again to tap into the majority of the people, again, close to 100% of the people in Michigan within a short drive. We're looking to hopefully expand our retail portfolio to over 20 locations by the end of this year. Right now, we're on a good pace, and like I said, should have 10 open by the end of the month and kind of move towards 11 or 12 by the end of this quarter. Quickly, I just want to talk about our social media. We put a lot of effort into our social media. I'd encourage everybody to follow us at Gage Cannabis on Instagram. Really gives you a taste of the brand, allows you to get a feel for what we're all about. We kind of again learn from the best in cookies. They have one of the best social medias, frankly, in the game right now. We really put a lot of effort. You get so much consumer feedback through your social media, even when you have new product drops, new flavors, new ways to consume. You introduce those to your network on social media. You get that interaction. You get the commentary. You know what your consumers are looking for. We always like to stay at the forefront of what our consumers are desiring from us as a company and trying to satisfy those desires. I think also if you take a look at how many people actually follow our brand relative to some of the other bigger brands out there, again, this is a following that gets cleansed, for bots and to ensure that we have true followers. Look at the interaction in our post. You really get a feel again for what the brand is all about and how much people appreciate the brand itself and the amount of effort we put into it. When you include that with the ecosystem that we're included in through Burner, over 1.5 million followers, Rick Ross, who's obviously partnered with Cookies, you just get a scenario where we're in a phenomenal ecosystem of just constant awareness, brand awareness, and also customer feedback, which I think is so key in this day and age. Quickly on our cookies partnership. So we actually have the exclusive rights for cookies on the cultivation, processing, and retail side of things. And what that means is essentially, we've partnered with that brand. We think very, very highly of that brand, so much so that we actually open cookies branded dispensaries. We sell cookies branded product as well across our retail channels, but again, also open cookies branded stores. We have one in Detroit. It's a medical only dispensary, probably one of the top medical dispensaries in the market right now in Michigan. We opened the first adult use cookie store in the Midwest and obviously in Michigan. We opened that earlier this year in February. Again, a phenomenal location. We plan on opening 2 more cookies locations very, very soon and probably a couple more by the end of this year. Again, you're learning from the best with this brand. They are the Coca-Cola, they're the Red Bull, they're the Nike of the space right now. One of the stores actually is going to be a lemonade store. That's like the Sprite to, Cookies is Coca-Cola. We'll have that open in Q3 as well. And again, just phenomenal stores. I encourage anyone watching from Michigan to come visit us at our cookie stores and Gage locations again to get a feel for what we're all about.
Hey, Fabian, so sorry to jump in, but we do have about 30 seconds left. Go for it.
Oh, sure. I was just going to end here. Just a quick summary on our portfolio. For anyone that has any questions, for us, feel free to email us at ir@gageusa.com. Again, that's ir@gageusa.com. I encourage everybody to obviously go to our website, www.gagecannabis.com. Again, we're a publicly traded entity. We trade on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol GAGE. We'll hopefully have our OTC ticker up and running in the next couple of weeks. Sorry for the delay. We know a lot of people have been emailing us and asking us for that. Again, we're working diligently hard to get that up and running.
Yes, no, we know. You probably want that OTC ticker. We want it too. So thank you, Fabian. We really appreciate you being here. I know we're going to hear from you again soon. But you guys, we're running out of time for questions. If you have questions, let me know. I'll send them to Fabian and Steven, who's great, helping with IR for Gage. So thank you. We'll see you again soon, my friend.
Thanks so much. Have a great day. Thanks, Patrick.
You too. Take care.
See ya.